Okay, fellow babies, welcome back to Pachter Factor on SIFTD.net. If you are watching as a Patreon patron, you're getting it real time, and we appreciate that you are paying for that privilege. If you're watching as a YouTube subscriber, same thing. Thank you so much. If you have managed to figure out how to link your Twitch Prime account to your Amazon Prime account, we're getting paid. You're getting a bonus by getting the content early. So look at the show description. It tells you how to do that. Link your accounts. It's easy. You have to do it every month or so, though. So just remember to do it. You can wait till you finish listening to my wisdom before you do it. But please link the accounts. All right, fellow babies. Today's question from YouTube from Marie. What's the path to redemption for Ubisoft? I like that word, redemption. Sexual misconduct in the workplace and insistence on moving away from AAA to mobile freemium, its failed focus on blockchain, and cancellation delays of multiple projects have put it in a bad place. It's hard to see a way back, and even harder to see an acquisition on the horizon. What can it do to turn things around? Is an acquisition more or less likely since its stock price has been cut in half over the last 12 months? All right, sexual misconduct, bad, but I'm hopeful fixed. The guys that did it are gone. The guys that tolerated it are gone. I'm not going to name names, but some guys I really liked who ran divisions are not there anymore. And they weren't harassers, but they tolerated it, so that's bad. I'm not sure I understand your comment on moving away from AAA to mobile freemium. They're trying to do both. They're not making AAA games, so I'm not sure what that means. And in fact, for 10 years, they have either made 3 or 4 AAA games a year, and their announced slate is always either 3 or 4. And yes, there have been years when 4 became 3 and 3 became 2 because they screwed up on delays, which I'm getting to next. But the plan is always 3 or 4. So their model has been 7 every 2 years. And I would say if you took any 2-year period, the last 10, they've never made fewer than 6. So they've screwed up occasionally, but not badly. And then this, I'll get to blockchain in a second too, but this cancellation delays of multiple projects, that's probably the biggest problem with them. So sexual harassment, huge, gone, but it was a big problem. But cancellations, delays, I'd say that they do a poor job of greenlighting games, and then they do a worse job of making the cancellation decision, and they take too long. So one game, for example, Splinter Cell, they started it, completely scrapped it after like 3 years, and then started it again, and it's probably been 3 years and we haven't heard anything since. So they just kind of, I don't know if that's been canceled or what. Other games, Skull and Bones, announced, shown at E3. What year was that? 2016? 17? I think it was 16. I think it was Assassin's Creed Black Flag was 15, and they showed Skull and Bones 16, and we actually thought it was just a brand extension, $40 game. Like, no, full premium. And then it was announced firmly for 2019, which seemed too late, and then delayed to 20, 21, 22, 23. And now it's finally coming. Is it coming in 22 or 23?
Coming in November.
Yeah, 22. Yeah. Sorry, I gave them one. I pinged them by one too many years. Sorry, but you know the luster they had for that gameplay from Black Flag died maybe 2 years after Black Flag. Like, how many of you watching this? You guys have to raise your hands. As you can see, well, played Black Flag. You know, so I don't think you have the audience that you had back then. And in the meantime, what's the stupid Microsoft Pirate Booty game called? You know, same.
Sea of Thieves.
Yeah, Sea of Thieves, same game. So I realize it's different, but yeah, the cancellation delay thing, and I would pin that more on their studio approach, that they have this distributed studio network that 5 or 6 studios will work on every game, and there'll be one that's core, but they have all these different moving parts, and I think it's really hard to put the whole together at the end, and they always have these weird problems. And the reason they do it is because it's really cheap to do it that way and have people working everywhere, and they work around the clock, and you can, because you can have people pick up. But I think that hurts them. And I actually think centralized studios is a smarter way to make games. And then on blockchain, failed focus. No game company should be focused on the blockchain. and it was flavor of the month, and they talked about it prematurely, and it was a mistake, and I hope they don't talk about it again. Do I think that there should be brands that appear in games and let you wear your cool Nikes in any game you want? Sure. But is that a way that the game companies are going to make money? No. I mean, they can make money for letting Nike let you outfit your character. The truth is the big opportunity in blockchain for games is to take a game that has purely cosmetic items for sale. So let's use Fortnite. And instead of having 7 or 10 people on staff at Epic who work on skins for Fortnite 24 hours a day, open up the tool set and tell you can make a skin for Fortnite. And if it gets approved, because obviously you can't have like a Nazi skin or a naked skin or whatever, but if it gets approved that it's tasteful and it's not violating terms of service, put it in the store and split the revenue you get from the skin, 88 you and 12 them in the Epic store. And what would happen is it would be like YouTube music videos. You'll have 5 million of them, and Justin Bieber will emerge. There'll be one guy who's great who comes out of YouTube, or TikTok videos, and Olivia Rodrigo will emerge. She was a Mouseketeer, but there are other people who have made it on TikTok. And what'll happen is somebody is going to come up with the coolest skin you've ever seen and make $1 million designing a skin in Fortnite. And that's cool, and that's good for Fortnite, and that's good for blockchain, and that's good for NFT, and you can do it. So I actually think that is the solution in games. Instead of telling you we'll sell you a silencer for your AK-47 and Rainbow Six, and it's an NFT, that's stupid. But we're going to open this up to user-generated content, and oh my God. And ultimately, like, imagine, just expand this from skins. You can design a whole new island in Fortnite. Wow. I mean, if you opened it up and let anybody do it, you could charge people to go visit the island. What the hell? Imagine. Like, fun. So it's not going to be Ubisoft, but this is going to happen. Ubisoft got ahead of themselves talking about it. Okay, so stop cut in half. The problem is that investors hate the games industry. Take-Two got down as low as 105, and I think it had been over 200. Activision got as low, I want to say 51, maybe lower, 40 something, and it was over 100. It was 104. So everybody got cut in half. The other guys are on the rebound because they've done some things right. Activision being acquired, EA kind of getting stuff right, and obviously Apex is a lot of it, but it worked. Take-Two's done a lot right. I actually think the Zynga acquisition is good. But, they all got cut in half. So I wouldn't say this is specific to Ubisoft. What can they do to turn things around? They need to produce games that are good. They need to do them on a regular cadence. They need to work on both free-to-play and AAA. I think that they're 5 years behind everybody else in free-to-play features in their games. But they're getting better. I mean, the Division Online is good. Rainbow Six Online is good, but they've got to do more. And I think that they get it. I think they know what they need to do. I'm not sure they can build a ground-up multiplayer game. They've tried. But again, who can? How's Valorant doing? I mean, good game, but it's not charting, it's not League of Legends or anything. It's hard. Even if you're really good, it's really hard. Ultimately, I think Ubisoft is fine standalone. I think they'd be fine owned by somebody else. I've always thought Take-Two and Ubi made a lot of sense together because Ubi owns all that IP. And so I think, except for Mario plus Rabbids, I mean, everything else they own. I think that would work in Take-Two's portfolio, and I think the Take-Two guys are very smart about monetizing games beyond premium. So I think that would be a marriage made in heaven, but obviously, if they don't think so, it isn't going to happen. I hope I convinced a couple more of you to join Patreon. Thank you. And I hope a couple of more of you joined YouTube as subscribers. Thank you. And I hope all of you linked your Twitch Prime account to your Amazon Prime account. That's easy. And there's instructions on how to do that in our show description. If you haven't done any of those things, follow me on Twitter, you bastard, @Michael Pachter.